It's September already, and it's time for another Necrons and More live stream. It's coming right up.
Necrons!
Nick speaking, and welcome to this live stream. Hello everyone. September already, can you believe it? August has just shot straight past. Actually, the last 6 weeks, the school summer holiday has shot straight past, because next week Necron goes back to school, and that's 6 weeks just gone in literally a click, in a flash. Anyway, how are you? Really well, I hope. Let's have a look, see who we have in the chat. We have Joey the Soulless. Hello, Joey. We have Alexander Warren. Hello, Alexander. We also have Jeff Nagel, who's made it to the stream for the first time. So hello, Jeff, one of my long-time members from my membership. So thank you, Jeff, for all your support. Joey says, I have two pretty cool ideas, a Necron band and Necron cultists. Necron band, as in like a rock band? Could you just imagine that? Sort of a Necron playing the guitar and the drums. Anyway, yes, I, of course, have been away to Portugal. If you haven't seen any of my posts, I went to Portugal for 4 days with my fiancée. For a family wedding, and we had a great time. It was really, really busy. However, we did have a lot of fun, and yeah, it's really, really good. It was a sort of Indian wedding, so there was lots of parties, lots of festivities, and really had a lot of fun. And it was my first time meeting the majority of my fiance's family, who live all over the place. Actually, they've got some relatives in Canada, in London. Obviously, I'm in Portsmouth in the UK, but yeah, literally sort of all over the place. So it was great to just get together and just meet everyone. Obviously, I've seen them on Facebook and FaceTime, but not obviously in real life. So that was awesome. Everyone was so welcoming. So yeah, everyone was so friendly, and just really, really nice just to meet everyone. And the wedding was fantastic. The wedding reception on the beach in a fort with a champagne and a saxophonist playing. It was just really, really nice. So we had a fantastic time. We have Jar Ish in the house. He says, I think it's a techno band. Yeah, good one. So to be honest with you, I only got back from Portugal on Monday, and I haven't really planned for today's show that much. I have done a little bit of planning. I have my usual notes, but I'm just going to wing it a bit more today, I think. But I do have Necrons of the Week for you, and I've got Tactical Corner, and I'm going to try something a little bit different for that. More on that later. But of course, prior to going away for the holiday, if you want to call it a holiday, I worked a lot. So I went 2 weeks, and I had 1 day off in that sort of 2 weeks. And then I had my Dominion War tournament. So August has just been really, really crazily busy. However, I do have this week off, so I've got until Monday. I've just been chilling out. I made a video today. I've got a couple of videos in the system ready to come out, and going to have a nice relaxing weekend, and then it's back to the grindstone, back to the school run in the mornings, and obviously work. However, the break has been really nice, and when I saw my mum the other day, when I came back on Monday, she said that I looked really relaxed. And that was a nice thing to hear, because I felt relaxed, so that was good. Good luck on winging it. Thank you. Thank you. So yeah, let's have a general channel update. So I do have a couple of videos coming out. One which I recorded before I went away, and I did the editing when I came back. And that's about running a 40k tournament like the ups and downs of running a tournament. It's quite a long video actually, it's about 30 minutes, but hopefully everyone will enjoy it, so maybe potentially learn from it if A, you're going to a tournament, or B, maybe you want to run a tournament yourself. So that's coming up, and then I made another video today which is a bit of a review on a product that I was sent, which is, to be fair, a pretty cool product. I think you're going to like it. So a couple of videos in the system already. I'm playing Richard tomorrow. We're going to have a 2,000 point game. It will be Necrons versus Orcs. I know Richard is still testing out his tournament Orcs, so it's going to be Thraka, Goth, Orcs. So yeah, I'm expecting to get mullered by it, but hey ho, it's going to be a lot of fun, and as always, I will try my best. But yeah, I'm looking forward to that, and there's no school run at the moment, so there's going to be no rush to play that game, which is nice, because usually we're rushing a bit so that I can get away for the school run. Aha, we have Voldemort's Guide to Warhammer in the house. Glad I caught you. I'm glad too. Still working on the Dominion event video. Sorry boss, no trouble. I'm trying. I'll link everyone up when it drops. I just got murdered by workload. No, it's no trouble at all. We appreciate how busy you are and that your videos take an awful long time to make. So it will be worth the wait. Now they both sound cool. Excellent. Okay, so what else have we got here? Let's have a look. Yeah, so I've got some good video ideas, which is all up here. To be fair, a lot of them came from the Dominion War tournament, so I'll be working on some more videos over the next few weeks, and I'm really looking forward to making those, because I do enjoy making the videos. However, that is going to bring me onto a hobby update, because you may recall at the beginning of August, my August show, I said I hadn't done any hobby. Well, I think you can probably gather by how busy I am. September's update, I haven't done any hobby, which I'm really surprised about, because now that's 2 months I've done nothing. Well, I did do the terrain for my tournament. I did sort of paint that, but I don't think that really counts. So yeah, I've done no hobby at all for 2 months, and it's not because I've got hobby burnout or I've got no motivation to do it. It's literally I've just been too busy, and any spare time that I have had has been going either on obviously the tournaments that I did, but also making videos, because trying to keep the channel ticking over as much as I can. Obviously I'm getting very close to hitting 25,000 subscribers, a little personal goal for me. My ultimate goal is 100,000 subscribers, but 25,000, I'm a quarter of the way there. So yeah, I've been concentrating on the channel quite a bit, and thus I haven't been doing any hobby. Voldemort says videos take eons to make. They do. And it's not even the video, I find personally anyway, it's like the editing. It's like this morning I recorded a video, it took me what, about an hour to record it, and then it took me about 5-6 hours to edit the video and then make the thumbnail. The metadata I usually do before I make the video, so I already know what the title is going to be in the description and the tags. Usually I have an idea of what the thumbnail is going to be before I do the video. Occasionally I'll make the thumbnail before the video, but usually it's afterwards. But yeah, it does take time, that's for sure. Could you make an Orokin empowered conversion miniature? I could do, although I already have an Orokin empowered miniature, which you can find on my channel actually. If you search on YouTube, IDICBeer Orokin empowered, you'll see it. It's a third-party miniature. I'm trying to think what it's called. I think it's mastercrafted miniatures, I think it's called. But they do a very cool model which works as an empowered Orokin really well. So yeah, painting. I do want to do my painting. I've got my Hexmark destroyers on the table, and I'm going to try to make an effort to do them. and of course I am going to be recording a painting tutorial. I'm slightly disheartened about my painting tutorial videos. They don't really do that well, and I can understand why, because I'm painting a lot of the stuff in a very similar way, because obviously it's the same army. But the way I see it is they're there for search. So if someone searches like how to paint, you know, a Necron, whatever, then hopefully my video will come up. So it's sort of a evergreen type video, but it doesn't give you that much encouragement when you upload a painting tutorial and then it becomes like your bottom performing video out of your last like 10 videos. So yeah, maybe that sort of stopped my enthusiasm slightly for painting, maybe, but I don't think so. I think it's just a case of just been too busy. Anyway, painting will happen, and I'm going to try to make September the month that I actually start painting. Now it's really muggy tonight. I do have the patio balcony doors open, so hopefully it's not too noisy for you. Usually I do ask about the noise. How is the sound? Sound check. Can everyone confirm you can hear me okay? Do your conversion video do better? I love those. I may well do. I may well do. So yeah, that's the hobby and a channel update done. We're going to move on to Necrons of the week in a second. Let's have a look, see how the live stream is doing. We have 17 people watching at the moment, but yeah, 17 people watching, 15 likes. That's not bad. That's not a bad ratio. Loud and clear. Thank you, Jeff. Yeah, I noticed my live streams haven't been performing particularly well either. I know live streams generally don't perform that well, but last month's stream, after it'd been uploaded, obviously after the stream as well, so including those views, just under 400 views, which is really poor. I mean, if in this particular series of Necrons and More live, 1,000 views is like the maximum that I got, and then it sort of dwindled down and I was getting around 600, but last month 400 views is not a great deal of views. However, I know that the people that do view are my hardcore watchers, so I do really appreciate you watching, and I really enjoy live streaming, so I'm going to continue with this show. I'm thinking about doing a different type of live stream, so I'll have my Necrons and More show where I have the different segments and stuff, but then maybe have a different type of live stream going forward. If you've got any ideas of a different type of live stream, maybe a painting live stream, like a Q&A live stream, anything like that, let me know in the comments box below. I really appreciate that. Have you ever seen Necrons painted copper before? I have seen some sort of copper type Necrons. They do look very, very cool. Jar says, sound is okay, but I miss the seagull or the lawnmower or a seagull with a lawnmower. Yes, well, is it out yet? No, actually, it's not out yet, but let me put it this way. You're going to like next Monday's video. You're definitely going to like it. Although it's not a seagull and it's not a lawnmower. Can you guess what it is? Okay. Quick sip of water. We're going to get ready for
Necrons
of the week.
Yes, it is time for Necrons of the week. And today I'm going to be looking at, well, what have I described it as? I've described it as models that make me think. Necron models, of course, that make me think. So hopefully you'll find this interesting. All of these models are from the Necrons Awakening Facebook page, Facebook group, which actually I am an admin of. To be fair, I think I'm the only admin now, because the person that used to run it, I think, basically handed it over to me. So Necron's Awakening, if you're not on it, then come and join us, because we'd love to have you there. Of course, I've got my other Facebook group, the IDICBeer Unifications Facebook group, the one in that poster there, so come and join us there as well. Right, let's have a look at some Necrons, shall we? Then it's an alpaca with a chainsaw. Oh, Dan's skull. Yes, okay, right. Let's just set up this camera very quickly. We should be all okay. We are okay. Alright, here we go. So, yeah, Necrons that inspire me. It's a funny colour there, I am. But anyway, there you go. I'll be a funny colour. Let's see if we can do something fancy and change the colour temperature of my light. See if this makes any difference. It's worse. No, that's better, I think. Oh well, there we go. So as you can see, this guy here is holding a resurrection orb. Very cool resurrection orb. This is by, now I may pronounce this wrong, Kieran. I think, yeah, no, Kieran Nagel. And I really liked this miniature. Obviously, the resurrection orb there is resurrecting a Necron warrior on the base. And this miniature really got me thinking, like, how does a resurrection orb work? Because I never really thought about it before, but this model really made me think about it. When is that about right? Is that how you think of a resurrection orb? Like lightning coming out of it onto the thing that it's resurrecting? I think in my mind I probably thought about it more a bit like the Force, you know. It was like an invisible thing that somehow generated it. I'm probably making no sense whatsoever. If you have any idea of how you think a resurrection orb actually works, I mean, is there some fluff on how an orb works? I don't know. But either way, I like the interpretation, I like the idea of this. Let's have a look at some of the comments. The red light glow gave you that cyborg look. Oh, on the camera? Oh, that's okay. We'll take that. But yeah, resurrection orbs. Does anyone know or have an idea, an inkling of how they actually should work? I'll leave that with you and we'll come back to it. In the meantime, let's have a look at another Necron. And no, it's not this guy. This guy here, I'm going to chat about him once we get rid of Richard's message. So I can see it. There we go. Is Brad Glover. Yeah, Glover. And he has his Necron army at Warhammer World, which we're going to have a look at in a second. But we've got a message from Jar. He says, when I think of the orb, I always think of a expanding bubble of energy. Ah, now that is cool. Yeah, I can imagine that. Cool idea. There isn't much, but I'll look into it. Got to go hit the keyboard. Sigh. Okay, Boulders, thanks very much. Yeah, if you could find anything else about the Resurrection Orb, I'd be very interested to hear about that. Okay, so let's have a look at Brad. Like I said, he got his army into Warhammer World. I'd seen some of his pictures on Instagram, but not of the whole army. And wow, look at these. Look at these. And these really made me think, would I have ever thought to have painted my Necrons this way? It's almost with stripes. Obviously we've got a few conversions here as well. I'm sure he must have quite a big theme behind the army. This of course here is the Seraptic. I'm just going to scroll through because there's quite a few pictures. But we've got conversions and a wicked paint scheme that just looks very, very different. It could release a pulse of energy that raises nearby dead Necrons. Yeah, like an energy. Do you think it's energy that it's actually coming out? Because It's really hard to know, isn't it? Let's go through some of these. I mean, would you have thought to have painted your miniatures like this? Let's see if we can zoom in. Yeah, we can. It's literally just, it's lines, but obviously very particular lines. Let's go back to another one. See some different units. Maybe not. I'm sure there was different units. Let's try the other way. Yeah, here we go. Oh yes, so these pictures are from quite far away, so you couldn't really see the detail. But as you can see, he's got a whole army of them, and they just look super cool, like really, really nice. And I said, these just made me think about, you know, how artistic and imaginative some people are. I mean, I would never have come up with this scheme myself. Okay, let's move on to the next Necron of the week. It's this guy here by... actually, this is another one by Kieran Nagel. There you go, he's got two, I didn't even realise. They look like they belong in an arts gallery. They look awesome. They do look very awesome, and you can see why Games Workshop put them in Warhammer World, because they are super cool. Now this guy, of course, is the Transcendent Catan, but he's been converted to match in with the newer Catan model. So we've got the debris coming up, and obviously he's made his own like swirly piece at the bottom there for him to stand on to raise him up, and then he's got the what must be whip coils from the wraiths there as well, just to add a little extra detail. But I thought that was a really cool miniature, so quite imaginative, and it just made me think again how taking some of those old miniatures and trying to match them into the newer ones, you know, is something that, you know, we do have to consider. Evening or late tonight, just been discussing Marvel Comics with my son. Hello Mark, welcome to the stream. We're currently doing Necrons of the Week, and we're looking at miniatures that make me think. So yeah, hopefully you'll enjoy the show. And we are going up to the next one. And the next one is from the same person. I should have just made this show about the same person. So again, this is Kieran Nagel. And look at this guy. Now, I've seen some conversions based around a plasmacyte bottom half, like the legs being a plasmacyte, and they've all looked really, really weird, like squats and just funny. But well, this one isn't. This one looks fantastic. Obviously I'm assuming it's going to be a chronomancer, judging from his staff, but yeah, very, very cool. And there's nothing wrong with like smaller Necrons. I mean, they actually look pretty cool, I think, but the proportions on some other conversions that I've seen using the plasmacyte haven't quite been there, but I think Kieran's nailed this one. I think it looks awesome. The army looks really cool. It wouldn't be my favourite look, but I appreciate the work. You're talking about the stripy one, aren't you? I must admit, yeah, I don't necessarily really like it personally. For my army, I wouldn't want it, but I think it does look really good, and like you say, you can really see the effort, and it does look super cool altogether. He looks like he's been tangoed. Who, me? So yeah, that was that one. So next we have this guy here. Now this is from someone different. This is from Jason Hardcastle, and what he was making me think was about his skull, the face. If I can get a picture of it, there we go. Because I need to paint mine, and I'm still working out how to paint it, and I really like this, and I think I'm going to paint mine very similar to this, but not orange. I'm going to have obviously the majority of the body of the actual miniature is going to be silver. But I'm going to paint this sort of face thing green, and then I'm going to have like a white skull, very similar to this, but if you could imagine the orange being green. I think it looks really, really cool. So that's what that one made me think about. And we are coming up to the last Necron of the week, and that is this one. We have a Deceiver conversion by Nate Donald, and I really liked this because, well, the Deceiver with his pointy hands, you know, it's a nice model, but I think what's been done here by Nate is really, really cool. I can't quite work out what those swirly things around the arms are, whether they're from a different model, maybe an Age of Sigmar one that I don't know about, or whether that's sort of homemade, you know, like custom made from something, I don't know. But he reminds me of Doctor Strange, you know, and he's doing his magic, like however it's done. I can't do it. But yeah, he reminds me of Doctor Strange. That's a Doctor Strange Deceiver. No, the orange Necron. Oh, okay, the orange Necron looks like he's been tankoed. That's all right then, as long as it's not me. So there you go, that is our Necrons of the week. Let me go back to my other camera. There we are. Hello everyone. I always need to make sure I swap cameras when I look from the different positions, because I notice sometimes in my stream I'm talking to the wrong camera. I am going to reset my table down for the next segment in a second. But yeah, there you go. So what did everyone think of those Necrons? Really cool, right? Man, he looks incredibly scary looking. Yes, what, Doctor Strange? I think he does. I think he does. I really like him. It's a very cool conversion. I think probably one of the best conversions from a Deceiver that I've seen. Another good bunch of models. Thank you, Mark. Yeah, as I said, all of those miniatures were featured on my Necrons Awakening Facebook group. If you're not a member, come and join. Don't forget to answer the question, because we don't accept anyone until they've answered the question, so that we don't get, you know, bots basically on there. Okay, so next up I want to have a little chat about 10th edition, because there's, as far as I'm aware, only rumours at the moment. Nothing solid, no releases, nothing but rumours. The 10th edition is coming out next year. So, yeah, 2023 10th edition. And I'm just trying to gauge how I personally feel about this, because I know there's a lot of people that have stopped playing 9th edition and just said, like, I'm going to shelf it, I'm waiting for 10th, especially their Necrons. And I think obviously we're all at different levels with this game, not levels of abilities, but levels of how you play and how often you play. I mean, at my 40k tournament, there was a number of people there that hadn't played for a good few months, hadn't played Nephilim, didn't even own the Nephilim books. Actually, I think that's the main issue, because personally, where I keep up with all the latest books, I actually feel the game's in a pretty decent place. I mean, all I need at the moment is my Necron Codex, the Nephilim book, and my free download of points, and I don't really need anything else, and I'm all up to date. I don't feel like there's too many rules everywhere, but if I wasn't keeping on top of those rules, and for example buying the latest Nephilim book, I can see how it can be very frustrating for a lot of people, especially if they don't play very often, especially if you play someone who does keep up with the latest rules. And if you have two people playing, and they could just be playing the basic core rulebook, having fun each week, that's fine. But let's just say somebody's got the previous edition, the Necron book, and they haven't, for whatever reason, haven't decided to get the Nephilim book, and then they play someone who's playing Nephilim, then you can see there is definitely issues there. And I'm not even sort of considering Crusade. I've never played Crusade. I don't really have any interest in Crusade, and I don't know anyone who plays Crusade to have an interest in it. Is it bloated? I mean, obviously we still have some more codices to come out, so they're coming out fairly soon. It would, to have all of the codices out and then a brand new edition come out just doesn't seem to make sense. And with all the data slates updates, I think they can keep 9th edition going for longer than next year. I think it's got another good year in it. Personally, I'm still happy with it, to be honest. And a new edition might be good for my channel because obviously it generates more interest. But yeah, personally, I don't think I'm ready for a new edition. Buying a new rule book and learning the new rules. What do you think? Let's have a look at some of the comments. I want Gauss weapons back. Gauss weapons can easily be fixed in the data slate, which comes out now, every 3 months? I mean, they could easily do it. Gauss weapons now, auto wound on 6s, or whatever the Gauss rule's going to be. I only started playing in 9th during the pandemic. It's only been a few years now. It is normal for 40k to change edition so soon. But previously it was around 4 years. Every 4 years a new edition came out. When they released 6th edition, it was deemed pretty bad, and they changed it after 2 years to 7th edition. And then 7th to 8th edition was 3 years, I believe. And then 8th to 9th, I believe, was 3 years. So at the moment, the trend is 3 years, which is probably why everyone's saying that 10th edition will be next year. But like you say, we've had the pandemic. Games Workshop have had the pandemic. I think it's too early, personally. Got Necrons now trying. Got Necrons now. I watch these videos to learn how to play them. Good stuff, Arthur. I hope they are helping. Jar says, I like the 9th edition. The codex creep is the problem. The missions and rules themselves are actually really good. Absolutely. And the codex creep obviously is there. It's always going to be there. And even if they reset it and go back, do another edition, 10th edition, you're going to have the same issue unless they release all of the codices all at the same time and they're all even. Then you're never going to have a balanced edition. I mean, I personally would play 9th edition for the next 4 years, whilst GW write codices for every army for 10th edition and just release everything all in one go. Here's 10th edition, here's every codex for the army. That would be an ideal world, but it's never going to happen because Games Workshop need to spread their sales. So that every month they can do a release, every week they can do a new release. So that's not going to happen. Hello Bazza from Underdog Painting. Hello Bazza, how are you? And if you like painting miniatures, you should definitely check out Bazza's channel and give him a sub. He's an awesome guy. He's been on YouTube for years and he really knows his stuff when it comes to painting, so check him out. Games Workshop should finish releasing the army books, do one big update for the armies, and then give us all a good year before a next edition comes out. Yeah, pretty much what I was saying. I think they probably need more than a year, but yeah, I mean it's it is what it is, isn't it? You know, I play my games, I have fun with whatever the rules are at the time, try to make the most of it, and it's good fun. It's good fun, and that's at the end of the day what we want from the game, isn't it? Kind words, Nick, much appreciated. You are welcome, Bazza. Obviously, I've been following your channel for such a long time, so always happy to help out if I can. So yeah, that's 10th edition. Now, I am going to try something a little bit different now for my tactical corner, and there's a couple of reasons for this. So reason one is what I was talking about earlier, is that my live streams have been going downhill a bit in terms of views, especially views after the event. So that's one reason why I haven't been putting too much into my tactical corners. As you know, recently I've been doing sort of army lists, just looking at army lists rather than real tactics. And the reason for that is because I feel that not many people would see that video or see the live stream. To, you know, I'd rather make that into a video. And then the second thing is, I've got an idea that I want to make a video about, but I don't know that it's like big enough to make a video, and I thought about making a short for it, but instead I'm going to experiment today. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do the tactical corner. I'm live, but I'm going to sort of half do it with the intention of taking the clip from the live stream and making it into a video. I've seen a few live streamers do this previously, so I thought I would give it a go. It means that I can have the content in the live stream for you guys, and then I can edit that content, make it into a video without too much hassle, because, you know, time, as I said, is very important. So I'm just going to experiment. So that's what we're going to do. You are going to be the guinea pigs watching me do a live stream, and also sort of in my head thinking about making it into a video. How's that sound? As a casual gamer, I feel Games Workshop changes and updates rules a lot, and we've never really had time to just use and play with an army for an extended period of time before another change comes along. When I only get 1 or 2 games in a month, it seems like I'm always playing catch up on new rules and updates. Really slows things down. And I totally get you there, and I totally understand it. Indeed, indeed. It's sort of one extreme to the other, because when I first started in 3rd edition, I had the same Necron Codex for 10 years. They did release a chapter approved once a year, which had some errata, some sort of FAQ in that book, but primarily we had the same codex for 10 years. But now, like you say, it's you know, it changes all the time. I mean, the current changes every 3 months with the data slate and a new chapter approved. So I totally get you. But the reason why Games Workshop are doing it, apart from maybe trying to make a bit of extra money, is to try and level the playing field as much as they can. Although if they didn't make such silly new codices with silly new rules, they wouldn't have to level the playing field. But there you go. Okay, so here we go then. This should be fun. I started in 7th edition with Space Marines. Cool. And now you're doing Necrons. Necrons!
Necrons!
Had to be done. Had to be done. Right, let's see if we can do this. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do my introduction live, so that I can just splice it out, and I'm not going to do the Necron Girls Necrons because that's an old clip. I'm going to put the new clip in, and then I'm going to start the video with my Nick speaking, and then we're going to go into the actual tactical corner, and then I'm going to splice all of those bits and make a video from it. So it should be fun. Should be fun. I don't play 40k enough in order to keep up with the rules, and that is the issue. I think a lot of the guys at my tournament had that issue. I think 6+ Stevo hadn't played for like 3 or 4 months, and he was just sort of out of the loop. He caught up very quickly, and if you're playing people that are up to date, it's very easy to catch up because it doesn't change that much, just a few bits and pieces. Okay, so here we go. Should I keep that live logo on? I think so, because I want people to know that it's live. Right, we're going to do the intro. Today we are going to talk about one of the best Necron stratagems in the Codex, and it's coming right up. Okay, okay, this is weird. They do change the rules a lot, indeed they do. Right, I'm going to do the next section now. Nick speaking, and welcome to this video. Well, actually it isn't a video, it's a live stream, but I'm taking a clip from the live stream just for you. And today we are talking about a Necron stratagem, a stratagem which I haven't really used very much at all, if ever, apart from in my recent army list. And I can tell you now, it is really good. So let's go table down and have a look at it. How did that sound? Was that all right? The games I play routinely take up to 6 to 7 hours to finish 2k point games. So that's why I only get a couple of games in each month. We are quite slow. To be honest with you, you're not far off other people really. I mean, Richard and I can take that amount of time. Admittedly, we are recording the video sort of clips. Excuse me, the video clips in between. But yeah, I mean, especially if you're having fun and you're just talking to each other and, you know, discussing rules and just generally discussing tactics and things. Good start. Thank you, Alexander. If you, have to set up the terrain and then get your models out to the case and then deploy them, it does take a long time, that's for sure. That was a good start. Thank you, Al. Hello, Al. How are you doing? Yeah, I have to say, actually, you reminded me, Al, actually, we had some very, very sad news in the community. Paul Beckers sadly passed away with his battle against cancer. And I've been following Paul for a very long time. Not really a 40k man, more sort of historical. But yeah, it's really, really sad news, and all the best to his family, and I believe I think he's got one daughter, but to the whole family, my best wishes to you all. So yeah, it's very, very sad news. I found that out last night actually, and so he wasn't particularly old, really makes you think. Right, so let's go table down and change the view. We need to turn that one off and that one on. Here we go. I'm going to look terrible in this video. Look at me. Why is it so bad? It's that side. I wonder if it's that light. Bear with me a second. I'm less red, although I'm still very dark. Very, very dark. So professional, this. Better? I think that's better, yeah. Like a professional. Going to try Necrons at my next tournament. Good stuff. What was that I was away from the computer? You have a green tinge, Necrons. Yeah, we were talking about, I was mentioning about Paul Beckers, who sadly passed away yesterday, and I was just saying about how sad it is. Right, that's about the best I can do. Okay, here we go. Right, let's continue with this video. Okay, so this is the stratagem Enslaved Protectors. It's 1 CP. Use this stratagem in your opponent's charge phase. Select one Canoptic unit from your army. Until the end of the phase, that unit is eligible to perform. Until the end of the phase, that unit is eligible to perform heroic interventions as if it was a character. That is very sad. It was very, very sad indeed. See, this is how we do videos. This is how we make them. Now, my recent army includes 3 Canoptic Spiders, and I can tell you now, this stratagem served me so well. So my tactic for these spiders is to have a unit of scarabs at the front with the spiders behind, and then trailing behind them I've got a Technomancer with control node, and then the Technomancer has the failsafe overcharger to give me D3 extra attacks, really nice, and also the control node to give me +1 to hit, so I'm hitting on 3s. Then I take the guns on all of the spiders as well, so they hit on 3s with all of their guns, and then obviously they hit on 3s in close combat. So they get 5 attacks each, plus a D3 attacks for each spider. And I've noticed that this stratagem has just done so well for me, because on several occasions what's happened is my scarabs at the front have been assaulted, and then I've used this stratagem, heroically intervened for 1 CP, and I've got my spiders into close combat. And people aren't expecting this. It's not something you would expect to see. Now, admittedly, once your opponent, especially if you play an opponent more than once, then they may see, this is the issue. This is how it goes. Let's go double down and do it here. Right, because I've got a battle report I want to play now. Here we go. Now you can see me doing this in this battle report here against Richard and his Space Wolves. He comes in and he attacks my spiders, and then I just heroically intervene. Now admittedly, Richard, it probably isn't going to fall into this trap a second time, because it is a bit of a got you moment, but I can tell you now it worked really well, and it worked really well for me in my tournament when I was playing Tyranids. So I had some Hormagaunts charge down the table, and they assaulted my scarabs. Now then I intervened with my spiders, and if you, depending on the order of assault, I mean, you may potentially get to hit with your spiders first. If not, you can potentially use 2 CPs and interrupt. Get those spiders hitting first, because they are strength 8 -3 and 2 damage, and you can do some nasty work using this stratagem. And it's something which your opponent hasn't planned for, because you know, they haven't assaulted your spiders for a reason. They've assaulted those scarabs instead, and all of a sudden they've got 3 Canoptic spiders punching them in the face.
Time to find out who
we'll
won.
Just do this. That's not. We're not giving away anything. I just pressed the wrong button. How's it going so far? To be fair, I don't think I've got much else to say about this subject. Love it. This is me doing videos. Yeah, exactly. This is what it's like, isn't it? I just got those. I've never used that stratagem. I feel like you have to chain your canoptic units to your characters, and I don't like that requirement. Indeed, I've never used it in the past, and this is the thing. I play canoptic wraiths all the time, but never actually use this stratagem because, well, I don't usually heroically intervene full stop. I mean, our characters aren't that tanky in close combat to want to get them into close combat. So it's never on my agenda, and I've never really needed to like counter attack with the wraiths because, like you say, they've got to be quite close to your character, and usually the wraiths are off doing other stuff. But it's not until I started to use these canoptic spiders that this stratagem has come into its own, and in the right list it's a very powerful stratagem. It really is. I'm going to keep your question and that little segment in the video. For some reason I was thinking they had to heroically intervene with characters, but I guess they can do it to anyone, right? They can do it to a canoptic unit. So you've got to have a canoptic unit within 3 inches of the assaulting unit, effectively. So it turns the canoptic unit into not a character, but they have the ability, like a character, to heroically intervene. Jeff says, I know way back when you used to have spiders and scarabs, heavy armies, do you think that is viable again? I think it certainly is viable. It's the most viable it's been for a very long time anyway, because spiders are very, very good now. And scarabs are still very good. So it certainly works. I mean, you can't scarab farm as much as you used to in the old days. I mean, that was awesome in the old days. And that's why I've got 63 scarab bases, because you started with 30 scarab bases, 3 units of 10, and then the spiders generated units each turn. Pretty sure that's how it worked. Yeah. So I mean, it used to be fantastic in the old days. It's more, it's viable now. Now the fact that spiders have got core, spiders are just so much better. Being able to give them that +1 to hit, hitting on 3s is like a huge difference to hitting on 4s. And yes, they have no invulnerable save, but they've got that toughness 6 with 6 wounds. You could use a Chronomancer and give them a 5+ invulnerable save, but don't think it's necessary, especially obviously with the Technomancer with rites of reanimation, getting those back. You could potentially use Illuminor, Illuminor to give them that extra buffs. But I think I'm more inclined to have 2 Technomancers still than Illuminor, but some playtesting will be needed there. Scarabs are one of the best units in my opinion. They certainly are. I mean, the Scarabs, you just can't go wrong with Scarabs. And I've talked about Scarabs previously, but the fact that you can either take a very small unit of 3 for hardly any points, and they can do a lot of work, right the way up to a medium-sized unit works well, and a big-sized unit works well. That's what I like about flayed ones as well. You can have like a small unit of 4, a small unit of 5. You can have like a medium unit, 8 to 12, or you can have a big unit, and they all work in different ways, but they all work. Whereas some units, like I don't know, now I've got to think. Some units, I'm not even going to name a unit, but yeah, some units just don't work in certain sizes as well. There's optimal sizes for them. For me, let's take wraiths for example. I know a few people use units of 3 wraiths, but personally I just don't find they do the business, because the idea of wraiths obviously is survivability, and you've got to have the model count to have that survivability to be able to sort of reanimate basically. Spiders for the win. I totally agree, but what do you think let me know in the comments box below. If you haven't seen one of my live streams before, here's a playlist with all of my live streams in for you to check out next. I've got to get up now just so I can do the beam out. There we go, I'm back. That's probably going to be a fairly short video, but we'll see. By the time I get all the extras in there, we'll see how that works out. Maybe I'll do that again in the future. We will see. But I hope you enjoyed that. I hope that wasn't too tedious. Would work well with Novok. Novok, absolutely. I'm playing Objective Secure, pre-game move at the moment. It's very, very powerful, but obviously Novok with that +1 to strength all game, really useful. I tend to time my +1 to strength to turn 2 because I think that's probably when you're going to be in assault with those spiders. But yeah, Novok, why not? I remembered you created a Flayed One theme list. I did 60 Flayed Ones, and I've been working on a 9th edition version. I just haven't played it yet, but I am working on it. Need to put together a 2K army. Yeah, I'm playing a new list tomorrow against Richard. It's fairly new anyway, but I'm really looking forward to it. It's not a final list, it's an experiment to the future, and I will be making a video about this future list as well. So no reveals because I'm going to keep it secret for Richard tomorrow so that he doesn't come up with some nasty plans overnight. Okay, where are we? We've got 4 minutes left of the live stream, so I'm open now to take any questions. I have nothing else to say on my piece of paper. What I can say is, having less to say on my piece of paper has probably made the stream a bit better. I feel very happy with today's stream. I feel like I've relaxed and I've had fun and I've not worried about what I'm saying. Because sometimes you do think, am I babbling a little bit too much? But it usually all comes out well. Did you decide to upgrade to new wraiths? I have, yes, yep. I made the video about the base adapters, and I'm going to adapt the bases to all of the miniatures apart from the wraiths, and I'm going to buy a couple of units of wraiths at some point. I'm not quite sure when. I've just paid for a very expensive holiday and I'm saving for a car at the moment, but at some point, maybe Christmas, I'll get some wraiths and yeah, I'm going to try out some of the new wraiths because they are cool looking miniatures, and then I could have some new wraiths and old wraiths, and that's probably what I would do when I play an army. If I have 2 units of wraiths, I'll have the new ones and the old ones and play them both. Then you can easily see which unit is which, and it might be pretty cool. Looking forward to playing the Votan. I'm not sure, unless Richard gets it, I probably won't know anyone that's going to be playing them. Enjoyed it, Nick. Thank you. You are welcome, Al. Thank you very much for popping in. Richard will play Orcs next time. I bet he doesn't play Space Wolves. Laugh out loud. Yeah, no, he's definitely playing Orcs. He's back to his tournament list testing. So he's got Goths with Thraka, and I'm expecting to get absolutely annihilated. I'm surprised Richard isn't in the stream actually. He usually joins in to see if he can get any sneaky tips. I converted an old Wraith into Plasmancer. Worked really well. That's a cool idea, yeah. I used the bottom half of the Wraith for my Hexmark Destroyer conversion. That looked cool. And also I've got an old Destroyer Lord on a Necron body. So that's pretty cool. But yeah, I'm sure Richard is going to be wanting some revenge. I feel that Richard sort of helped me out a lot for the tournament because he really did play test my armies quite a lot. Bless him, he didn't play his actual Orc army before the day, but I think he wanted to test himself and play an army without play testing it and see how he got on. But I felt like maybe if he'd play tested the army a bit more beforehand, he might have done better at the tournament. But he had some hard opponents, so yeah, you know, it's just the way it went. Okay, so if there is nothing else to ask me, then we are going to wrap up today's live stream. As I said, I've had a lot of fun, and I really hope you have too. I've got lots of videos coming, lots of video ideas that I want to make, and in the next live stream I would have at least started painting my Hexmark destroyers. I promise.